Hey y'all, welcome back to another Daily Scuttlebutt with Ivy's Family Factotum. So it is first day of spring and I'm sitting out here in a jacket. And we actually had frost this morning, a lot of frost this morning. It is cold, the wind blowing through. I see it blowing my beard. Cold. And oh man, hopefully it is a little later. It's already almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just now getting to record this. So Gladys today, she actually had some appointments that she had to go take care of. Actually, 2 appointments. And one was, basically an hour's worth of driving going one direction and then coming all the way back here to go an hour away. So that's 2 hours worth of driving the other direction. So that's 3 hours basically, out of her day. Plus she did a little bit of grocery shopping and stuff to bring, because we just needed some bread and milk and, a few little odds and ends, for certain dinners that we needed to pick up, or she needed to pick up. And her appointment actually got moved up, so I ended up having to go down the road to meet her to just be able to pick up those groceries, so she didn't have to, waste time coming all the way to the house and unloading and then driving back out, right? Because she's probably already going to be late. But knowing how she drives, she probably won't be. She does drive a little fast sometimes. But what stinks though is whenever I went to go meet up with her to grab those groceries, the tailgate of the truck was down. So yeah, right now she's still driving Mom's truck because we really needed to clean the Jeep. So the Jeep is back together, but it really needed to be cleaned because it had gotten wet on the inside, and still had mud on the inside from whenever she pulled the truck out of the mud back, during the winter time. There's still snow on the ground. So this whole time that the Jeep's been down, it hasn't been cleaned. And it really needed it because to be able to put the kids in there and for her to just be driving around, like the carpets and stuff like that were growing stuff, right? So we needed to take the seats out, take the carpets out, really clean them really good with a pressure washer and all that. And I don't know, you can probably even see behind me back here on the trailer, we got all the carpets hung up to dry since yesterday. So obviously with it being cold outside, it's going to freeze and then, blah, blah, blah. So we're still waiting for those to dry so we can put it back in and then get the seats back in. And then she'll have the Jeep, for her daily driving. But anyway, to go back to what I was saying, when I went to go meet her, that the tailgate of Mom's truck was open. And I asked her, I was like, hey, did you know that the tailgate was open? She said, no, I don't even know when it opened. I was like, okay, well, every so often it will do that. I don't know why. Even when you close it, you can hear it latch. So I don't know if at her appointment or maybe when she went, because she went to Walmart, maybe, someone had opened it for whatever reason. And so either someone opened it and took my chainsaw to steal my farm boss, or it opened on its own and it fell out as she was driving. So, and this is a $600, $700 saw. And it's only 2 years old, less than 2 years old, a year and a half old. Because I got it in Virginia right before we left. Basically, right before we left Virginia is when I got it. So I've only had it for a little over a year. So yeah, I am a little upset. I'm not mad at her. I'm just upset at the fact that it's gone. because accidents happen, right? I know that accidents happen, so it's no reason to be upset, at a person that had no idea that it even happened. So is the fact that the saw is gone and that we're trying to pinch pennies because I still we still need to get the other culvert for the gate, and that's almost $800. Because I really hate. I mean, I can always go and probably try to find a used one for a lot cheaper, but I really, really hate buying used things and knowing that I'm probably going to have to replace it a lot sooner than if I just went and bought something brand new. So, and I really hate redoing work. That's why I was kind of upset whenever I did that first culvert, put it in, and then the rain washed it away. But it also made me realize that culvert for that area, it was really, really undersized. And so I'm going to have to go almost double the size of so I put the 12-inch in, and I really need to put a 24. I mean, I could probably get away with an 18, but I'm going to put a 24-inch culvert and, do the walls and some of those other things, to help prevent. Because it's all the water coming off that ridge. And if you walk back up in there and you start looking, the water, how it comes down is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 streams basically, or 5 different veins of water that all comes down to that one spot. To include, the water, one of those veins is actually the water coming from the driveway, which is supposed to be a ditch on the left side of the driveway. And, all that water goes into that one culvert to go underneath the driveway and then down. And once it gets, through that area on the other side so basically the north side of the driveway, it kind of just branches out and goes everywhere. So with the real heavy flooding that we had, I was able to go look at a lot of the area of our property that retains water. Because if it floods out like that, I mean, yeah, I know that, the flooding, I mean, the state even put in, a national emergency to get funding from the federal government to be able to repair roads. That's how bad it was in a lot of, in our county alone. So I do understand that this is, like a record rainfall that, hasn't been in this area for a very long time. But if it does it once, it's going to do it again. So you have to be able to prepare for that. You have to be able to build your infrastructure, around those record rainfalls like that. Because, it's kind of putting in a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort, especially when you're doing it yourself, to build something, and then one rainfall comes along and just destroys it. When you know, right, that that's something that you can kind of prevent. So I've been going through and looking at where the water went, for these record type rainfalls, and just saying, okay, well, if I'm going to build here, if I'm going to do something here, then I'm going to have to do this, and I'm going to have to strengthen this and build a wall here and be able to, revert, or not revert, but to change the flow of water, which you can only change the flow of water so much, because water is going to go where water wants to go. It's always going to take the path of least resistance. And whenever it comes to streams and rivers and creeks and stuff like that, it is forever changing. It will, because it washes away sediment until it gets to a spot where it can no longer move because of rock or whatever, which rock does, deteriorate over time. It just takes a lot longer. than silt or mud or anything like that. So sand, any of those things are just smaller rocks. So water is going to change. So we already know. So looking at the creek of basically how it goes through the property, you also look at what, like the switchbacks, right? You look to see where water is turning and basically going in a different direction and stuff, because a lot of times in those curves is where you're going to have, change. That's where it's going to start eroding. It's going to do, especially during those really, really heavy rains. So we've been walking the property, looking at those, saying, okay, if I build here, is this going to withstand, for the next 100 years? Is this going to be able to withstand, a real heavy rain and things? So that's one of the things that we're looking at, and it's really hurtful. It really hurts the heart that I lost a chainsaw, a $700 chainsaw, when we really need the money to do other things. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not mad at Gladys. If someone stole it, I'm mad at them. But I'm pretty sure that it just fell out somewhere. And she even said that, she'd go drive back that way to go look and see if she could find it. Obviously, if it fell out of the truck while she's driving, it's going to be damaged. So regardless, I would have to get it fixed or fix it myself type thing, or be able to send it in for it, because it's still under warranty. I mean, I've had that least amount of time that it's still under warranty. I could probably get it replaced. But in this area, you see a chainsaw sitting on the side of the road, you're going to stop and pick it up. I mean, there's enough, backcountry, guys and gals that live in this area. They see a chainsaw sitting on the side of the road, it's theirs. They're going to claim it right away. So, it's going to be one of those that, you're going to have to take that loss as a loss and move on. Yeah. So tomorrow we were actually supposed to head up to my mom's. That's not going to happen because we did not get the product in time that we wanted to review. That's one of the biggest reasons why we were going there in the first place, which is fine because we got to save that fuel cost anyway. And it is what it is. It's c'est la vie. I know that she's trying to come down here to just be able, because she hasn't even seen the property yet, just be able to come and take a look, take a gander, and whatnot. And yeah, that's kind of how our day is going today. So happy first day of spring, y'all. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. This thing's probably gonna take forever to upload, and it's already, the day's halfway gone. And I'm still trying to do the edit of Monday's video, so that's probably gonna be late as well. It's probably not gonna come out until Tuesday. I'm having issues with it. Of course, I recorded an 8K video, and I wasn't necessarily trying to do that, but it happened, and my computer does not like to edit that. So, yeah, there we go. So, y'all have a good first day of spring. Remember to thank a veteran at every chance you get, not only on Veterans Day. And we'll see you on the next one. Later, y'all.